Broadway Beats, Broadway Beats, Broadway Beats, Broadway Beats.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge, and welcome to Broadway Beat, where we bring you the very best of what the New York theater scene has to offer. This week we bring you highlights from the 21st annual Gypsy of the Year competition, which took place at the Palace Theater, which benefits Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. But let's start things off at the opening night party for the new musical celebration called FELA, which has come to Broadway's Eugene O'Neill Theater following a sold-out run off-Broadway last season. We caught up with the cast and the show's co-conceiver, director, and choreographer, Tony Award winner Bill T. Jones.
Yansh, also known as the bass. Now, here is where we play what we call the underground spiritual game. And in order for you to play with us, you have to stand up now. Now is the time. Welcome to the shrine.
When Steve Handel, our wonderful producer, first contacted me, he said, he asked me, do you know Fela Kuti? I said, yes, of course. And then he said, could you please consider doing a stage treatment of some aspect of his life, anything you want to do. And Jim Lewis and I, my co-writer, thought it was going to be kind of 8 songs, imagistic, and it was going to be in a smoky club somewhere. And so that's how we started. And then we had a quick education about our resources necessary, who the audience was going to be, what we really wanted to do. And we began to painfully try to find a way to tell a story. A way to tell a story that would not be a biopic, but a story that would be evocative. When you listen to Zombie on the headphones of Fela, you can see a picture. That's what I thought each song should be like, but they've got to blend, and they've got to be held together by something, and it was Fela's love. Love for his mother, of all things, you know?
Well, let's talk about the company. I mean, your dancers come from everywhere. I mean, you've assembled. Talk about that.
Well, now the dancers come and audition. Some people do by word of mouth. I didn't know this, but we advertised for people who had background in modern, African dance, and any other skills. Ishmael, that beautiful singer from Guinea, he came in and I said, wow, this is a modern dancer. He was dressed in like a native costume because he's been a star with the Ballet de Guinea. And I thought, this guy, it will never work out. But then I heard him sing. And then I saw his own movement. I said, there's got to be a place for him. And it sort of expanded my way of thinking. All of them, when they came in, yes, they had to learn a combination. My own and my associate choreographer, Maya Garcia, gave them beautiful modern dance and jazz combinations, not jazz, I'm sorry, modern dance and African combinations. And I could watch and see how we could become a company and learn from each other. So what you see, everything is set except for Yellow Fever, that one pièce de résistance, where they're invited one by one. Every night we have 5 or so I say to them, now show me something tonight. Show me something you want me to see. So every night they have to turn it around and reinvent. The whole show in some way is that. Sar and Kevin Mambo have a huge job, of course. They've got to carry that whole thing, talking the whole time, and make you believe that this is the master, Fela Kuti, doing his famous yabi. You know that term, yabi? Yab them, you hear somebody yell, well, you weren't there tonight maybe, but there's some yab them, Fela, which means tell them the truth, Fela, you know? So the whole thing has got to come out of this discontented, self-involved, brilliant man that they've got to recreate every night. And they have different little tricks. It's fascinating to watch how they do it.
What amazes you the most about the man in general, Fela? I mean, there was so much material there when you were putting this together, what you wanted to put out for an audience.
What amazes me is how hard-headed he was. My God, and he was, I think he was fearless. The person that we present on stage tonight has doubt. FELA, if he has doubt, you never saw it. He was relentless. He was an authoritarian, but he had some sort of a mission, a calling, you know? And that was not, he could have left Nigeria in a very, very big career, but he stayed there, hard-headed in that community. That is remarkable to me.
You know, he was this man that made so many albums. He believed in his music, believed in his politics, believed in his home.
Music is the weapon. Music is the weapon, he said. Yes, he believed in it all. He believed that there was a power of his work to actually get things right. Yes.
And you have added the wonderful Lilias White into the Broadway mix. Would you talk about that powerful number that she does?
Well, Lilias does two. Everything Lilias does is powerful. Trouble Sleep, which is the song that really sets up what I call the post-colonial euphoria that went so sour, and that in a way produced FELA. That is the first one. That's her job. It's our country now. It's our country now. It's our country now. And then there is the wise goddess, mother, on the mountain, in the earth, wherever the Yorubas would live, who actually says, "Are you ready to listen now?" And she lets him have it. And I heard tonight the lyrics that Jim and I wrote, that Jim wrote, and those lyrics about "let the bullets fly, let the mothers weep," those are inflammatory. That could be what we are most afraid of now. It could be a terrorist speaking, but not where FELA was coming from. It was supposed to be the opposite of destruction. It's supposed to be building, you know?
And loading the Aluka book born into his arms, he burst into flame, cleansing the earth. Yeah, Maya, yeah, Maya, yeah, Maya. When the mother of the gods, yeah, Maya, saw her son burst to flame, she cried tears of loss, tears of pride. Oh, she cried. It's a pleasure to be back, and to be back in such an extraordinary show.
Well, tell me what it's been like working on this powerful piece.
It's been challenging because Bill T. Jones demanded a lot from all of us, and we had to deliver. So it's been a challenge, but it's been a great, I think, a learning experience for me personally to move myself to a higher height in terms of my acting, in terms of my singing, and in terms of learning how to see other people's visions through his direction.
Talk about this wonderful woman that you get to play and what you love about her.
Yes, I love Funmilayo Anikilapo Kuti because she was a fighter. She was steadfast. She was no jokes. She was not fooling around. She lifted the lives of women in her community and around the world. She was an example of someone who saw what was wrong and took steps to correct it. And she wasn't afraid of going up against the status quo. She was brave until the end, and I admire her so much for that, and I'm so proud to be able to play her on stage.
And talk about this wonderful man. How well did you know FELA and the material?
Well, I was familiar with his music when I started college, when I was in high school. You know, he was very popular then. I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was. You can look it up on the internet. But he was very popular when we all danced to his music. I don't think that everybody at that time understood the total impact of his struggle, but he was well loved.
And just talk about the audience's reaction. I don't think there's another show that I've seen that has the same kind of reaction that the audience gives you and what you give to this audience, what that's been like for you.
It's been remarkable, and it's such a pleasure to know that I'm doing something on stage that is impacting people emotionally, making them think and making them feel. You know, it's been a long time since I was in a musical where people felt something, you know, internally in their hearts, in their souls. So I'm pleased to do that.
And working with this great cast, what's that's been like?
This cast is phenomenal. They defy gravity. They are strong. They're determined. They're humble. They are brilliantly gifted and talented, and it is just a joy to watch them every night. So, you know, I'm in the wings doing what they do on stage, all that, you know, the round the clock and all that stuff. I can still do that stuff, y'all, okay? So don't get it wrong, all right?
Well, one thing that's it's a really a highlight for me is the fact that two of FELA's children were there tonight, Yeni Kuti and Kunle Kuti. They hosted me in Lagos last year after the off-Broadway run. I was fortunate to sleep in Calcutta and to spend most of my nights there at the shrine during celebration, and to have them here tonight and for them to be moved and to give their blessing, for me, that's it. I'm over the moon, man, you know, really.
Well, tell me what it's like playing this man. You inhabit him. Talk about what you love about him, his politics, his music, and the challenges of playing him.
Yeah, well, Fela Kuti for me is, he's a new archetype for a modern mythology. And the way people react to Fela in Africa, he's almost like a demigod in some respects. So to deal with him on this level, it's quite tremendous. I mean, they're very big shoes to fill. And ultimately, I hope that anybody that has a chance to witness the show and to experience what was created there by all of us, you know, with Bill at the helm, would be to hopefully capture this spirit of courage and originality from Fela, regardless of any, how do you say it, social ambiguities or you know, things of that nature. Well, anyway, yeah, so playing him in that regard is, it's a tremendous experience, man.
And working with Bill T. Jones, I mean, creating, there's such an organic energy with all of you up there. What that was like in the rehearsal room working with Bill T. Jones.
It was quite intense, man. I mean, it was like a magnetic pressure cooker of brilliance, really. And Bill is very talented at pulling the best out of everyone in a very particular type of way. You know, creating an environment and an atmosphere that for one, it's very inspiring for everyone involved, and at the same time, it's galvanizing for each individual to really bring the best that they have to the table from their soul. You know, I mean, creativity at the end of the day is really coming from your soul. So we bear our soul every day in the process, and hopefully that's reflected on stage.
Get it, 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 do you get it?
The 21st Annual Gypsy of the Year competition, which benefits Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, took place at the Palace Theater. This two-day event marks the culmination of 6 weeks of intensive fundraising activities, and several awards are given, including the coveted Gypsy of the Year. The grand total this year was over $4.6 million, including the unprecedented over $1.5 million raised by Hugh Jackman and Daniel Craig at A Steady Rain.
Mitchell!
Robbins! I mean, Ashford! Strowman!
Hold it. Seriously, this is very impressive. And you're all wearing shoes, which is fascinating. However, this is not television, people. This is Broadway. And Broadway cares, just not about you. There is only enough money for my wardrobe and to hire people who can dance and sing. I am sorry.
We're not only dancing it, we're also singing it. That's
it's a great show. It's a very dancey show. We have an opening number by Sean McKnight and Melissa Mahan, which is a takeoff on So You Think You Can Dance. And literally from there through the end, they literally just pretty much dance through the show. There's some very funny stuff and some singing, but which is appropriate for Gypsy of the Year. They're going to show a little dancing off.
The fundraising over at your show, Finian's Rainbow, what it was like for the last 6 weeks.
It's been great. I think, I'm not quite sure what the final amount is, but we have raised, I think, about over 65,000, which we're thrilled about. It went very well indeed, yes. The audience responded well. My theory was that, there is the problem when you're collecting, that you have to get out of your costume, put on the T-shirt and go out front. My theory was that if you stay in your costume and race out front, you're going to get more money. And that's, in fact, what I subsequently proved by staying in my costume to do it. No, we had a wonderful response, and the speeches were great. Cheyenne Jackson and Chris Fitzgerald, in their different ways, did fascinating speeches and got the audience very excited about the whole business of collecting money for such a worthy cause.
Now talk about some of the wonderful fundraising activities that have taken place over at Memphis.
Well, at Memphis, we've been fundraising every night, of course, for the past, 5 or 6 weeks. I've been giving the curtain speeches myself, which has been really exciting, especially with the new show. We have an opportunity to really greet our audiences and talk to them about things that really are close to our hearts as a cast. Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS. We have sold our show posters. We have sold the Christmas CD, Carols for a Cure, and we've actually sold props from our show that we use every night. We have a prop that we use every single night that we've sold every night to any willing participants, any willing buyers. So that's been really great, sending people home with a little piece of the show, actual piece of the show that they've just seen. It's been really great.
Well, here we are, the 21st annual Gypsy of the Year, and I hear this is your first Gypsy.
It is. Yep. It was very exciting yesterday, and our money is on Chicago. That's what my money is on. What about you?
I liked everything. It was a really fun night. Can't wait to see it again next year.
Sup?
Hey! Stop!
So, what are you guys up to?
We're in Bye Bye Birdie.
Oh.
Well, we gotta get going.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the gym. What are you doing?
Hey, we should get coffee sometime.
Really?
Totes.
I think he was hitting on me.
He was not.
I'm gonna go get his number.
Don't bother. He's like 21 anyway.
Besides, I thought you said you didn't date anyone in the business.
He's not in the business. He works for Roundabout.
He's got a point. Can't you see he's one of them?
A boy like that, don't even bother. Forget that boy and find another. Someone your own age, stick to your own. Just wait and see, you cradle robber. Just wait and see.
Oh, no, you Chelsea boys, you Chelsea boys. It isn't true, not for me. Too young for you, not for me. And in my head, I hear your words. I know they're smart, but my heart, Jim Bunnies, but my heart.
A boy like that, don't even bother.
And my heart,
forget that boy
is
and
so
find
strong.
another. Someone your own age, stick to your own age.
To him alone, one thing I know.
Those little twinks cannot love.
I don't care.
Those little twinks have no heart.
I don't know.
Will buy him drinks to win his love, then he'll depart. Very smart, you diva, very smart.
Oh no, you bitchy queens! You should know better.
Well, at Next Normal, we're selling the Carols for the Cure CD. We have two of the understudies, Jessica Phillips and Tim Young, are on the CD singing their own rendition of This Little Light of Mine. It's a great song. And then just people giving out of pocket, very generous donations. At Wicked, there's tons of signed stuff, aprons, cookbooks, all sorts of fun stuff.
I'd like to present to you Christine Petty doing Angela Lansbury as Effie in Dreamgirls.
And I am telling you, I'm not going. You're the best man I'll ever know. There's no way I'll ever go.
Christine, don't stop with Angela. Give me some more ladies.
Oh, no way. Can we talk? No way. I'm living without you. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. Oh, I'm not living without you. Please. I don't want to be free. I am staying. And you're gonna love me.
Well, first of all, I was the executive director of Equity for 25 years, and when this terrible, terrible plague started, we at Equity started Equity Fights AIDS, and we tried to have a major benefit very early on in the game, but it was not a chic disease at the time. But finally, we got Marty Siegel, who was chairman of the board of Lincoln Center at the time, to sponsor a benefit at Lincoln Center, and we filled the place with the community and outsiders, and we raised a lot of money. And that started Equity Fights AIDS. And then many years later, of course, we merged with Broadway Cares. And it was a wonderful merger. It's been an organization that has brought the community together in wonderful, wonderful, wonderful ways. I mean, it's the old cliche about what a community this is, but hey, it really is. There's something about working and participating on Broadway which is like no other experience in terms of a collective family. And what we've done in terms of not only providing money, raising the consciousness, giving all kinds of funds around the United States and throughout the world. And I spent a lot of time around Manhattan Plaza, though I don't really live there. And in the old days, you would see these sick men with friends being walked around the block. And now with all of these cocktails that are available, partly because of what we've done and partly because of the consciousness of the entire country, it's just you never see that anymore. And the community thrives with lots of talent which otherwise might not be here.
This was a big fundraising year, right? You broke a lot of records. Could you talk about some of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, please, we raised $4.6 million. I mean, we've never come near that before. Now, much of that is due, of course, to Hugh Jackman and Daniel Craig over at Steady Rain, who raised $1.5 million of that in 48 performances. I mean, it's unprecedented. I mean, it's the stuff of legend. But I have to say, which is really wonderful, that even if you subtract that out, those other 60 shows raised raised $3.1 million, which is actually a little bit better than we did last year. So it's an extraordinary effort made by Broadway, Off-Broadway, and national tours across the country, for which we are so grateful.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is our privilege and honor to present to you today an award never before given out in the history of Broadway Cares, the Top Player Award. And the top all-time fundraiser award is today presented to the company of A Steady Rain.
Star power!
Well, I'm supposed to say something. Oh, no.
Wait. To all those people we bullied, we cajoled, and slept with. Really.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And also,
I want to give a shout out, if we can.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out not only to all our stage managers and crew, but all of us know that over 6 weeks we hold everybody back that don't always get this applause, and that's all our crews and front of house and all those people. So a huge round of applause
for them as well.
You know what? Tony Awards for all you gypsies, because you all have a first-class ticket on the hot tamale train.
Oh, goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have for today. Tune in next week when So You Think You Can Dance takes on Agva.
We're not only dancing.